So 1 o'clock on Thursday. Sorry, I'm going to make you a little bit nauseated here as I try to adjust. There we go. There's just about the right amount of zoom. All right, so it is Thursday. It's time for another video tutorial, and I have another sneak peek for you. Oh, it looks like, no, I'm not saying that out loud. I refuse to say what I was about to say out loud, but so far I can see myself on my own computer, so that's a very good sign. Hey, Marva, I appreciate you coming. Hi, Rosie. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so here's our card. Let me get centered up a little bit. All right, hi, Shirley. This is our card for today. It is an accordion fold, sort of a modified one, which I think is kind of cute. I don't remember who I saw this on, but it looked like a fun fold, if you will. Hey, Becky, appreciate you coming. And I am having a good day. I am now in prepare to get gone next week as opposed to making cards in order to get gone next week. So tomorrow is all about cleaning the house, which I confess I'd rather go to the dentist. Really, I would rather go to the dentist than clean the house, but I will do it because that's what needs to happen. Hey, Susan, I appreciate you coming. I'm going to reach up here and turn my fan on right quick like a bunny while people are getting joined up. Okay, there we go. So this uses the new pop-up Petals stamp set. This is coming in the November online exclusive. So if you are a demonstrator, whether you've just joined or you've been with us a long time, you can get these right now in your pre-order. Hi, Amy. Hi, Danette. Hello, everyone. I appreciate you coming. Nancy and Rue. And it is a die set bundle. Now, these dies right here will actually make it so that when you open up a card like this, a pop-up element will come right out of the center of it. And I will be playing with that in the next few weeks, but for now we're just going to use it like it's a regular stamp set. So I haven't used these, but I've used a couple of the fun images, and it's got really good sentiments. I really kind of like the sentiments in this. So, and I've used some of the Gathering Together DSP, which is in the online exclusives that you can get right now. Okay, and of course we have an envelope. So this will all be on tomorrow's blog. You do not even need to take notes or nothing, not even nothing. I'm going to start by sliding my computer out of the way. Hi, Judy, appreciate you coming. And get my trimmer out. Now our card base, we have two cards. I've got the large card and the little card. So we'll do the little card first because it's the easiest to get scored up. This is 3 inches by 6 inches. We're going to score it in half at 3 inches. So what we're really making here is a 3 by 3 card, and it's going to fold like so. That one was easy, right? Okay. Now this is 5.5 by 11, and let me go ahead and get this laid out already because I'll need it. And gonna have to do a little squirming around here. I need like a full studio. I've decided it. Okay, so we're going to, along the long side, we're going to score at 1 3/4. Hardest part here is just being sure you use the gray blade. If you use the other dark gray blade, you will, well, I mean, you're going to still have cardstock. It's just not going to do what you want. So the second score is at 3.5. Then we score one more time at 5 1/4. And finally, 7. All right, so that is 1 3/4, 3.5, 5 1/4, and 7. And that is it. We can put our trimmer away. Now we're going to make an accordion with this portion. This right here is going to be the back. So it's often easiest to start there because that kind of gets everything started, if you will. Hey, Jean, I'm glad you were able to make it. Oh, yes, it is. Knock on wood, we are having beautiful fall weather right now. I hope it stays that way for our retreat next week. And actually, I would like it to stay that way until about June, and then it can have 2 months of summer, and then I'd like to go back to fall for the rest of the year. That's my favorite time of year. Okay, so once we have that started, next we're going to accordion the next fold, the next scores, okay? So this, we'll call this a mountain. You can see Valley Mountain. Then we'll turn it and do a valley. So really when you accordion something, you're just going opposite folds each time, right? And do take your time to try to get them as straight as you can. All right, a little extra minute or two when you're making a fun fold to make your scores and your folds and get them burnished straightly will pay dividends in the long run. Okay, so you can see you've got your accordion and then the back of your card base. Easy peasy. That's it right there. Yes, y'all pay attention. Rosie's putting some scheduling info out. I will be back on this Saturday, but that will be my last live until the 1st of November. Okay, so mark your calendar. I did go out on a technical limb and record a video that will come on the 25th of October, which will be the 9th Christmas before, or the 9th Saturday before Christmas, but that will be all there is. There will not be anything. Well, this Saturday there will be one, and then the recorded one on the 25th. Okay, so now I have just cut some of the very beautiful Gathering Together DSP. I really love this with the fall leaves on it, so I used it a lot. And then I also cut these pretty pieces to kind of go in between. It's now just a matter of adhering them to our card base, okay? And I'm using liquid glue. If you are more comfortable with Stampin' Seal, absolutely you could do that. And truly, oops, that does not look right at all. Not even sorta, does it? What did I do there? That can't be right. Let me do some measuring. Maybe I should measure. Apparently I wrote my measurements down. No, 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. That's my problem right there. So we got 3 7/8. Yes. Okay, let me cut some paper. Hang tight. Be hanging on. So what did I say? 3 7/8 by 5. Oh, shoot, fire. I bet I did all of these wrong too. Yep, I did. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I have said it before. I will say it again, and I will say it over and over and over again. I do not do well when I get ahead of the game. I just don't. Because I screw stuff up so fast, it's not even amusing. Okay, so let's see. Let's do 5 3/8. Well, you guys get to watch the funness of me cutting DSP. Won't that be a thrill? All right, and then I need 2 that are 1 5/8. Okay. Was that 1 5? Oh my gosh. It's gonna be one of those days. What I anticipate now is that YouTube will quit partway through. Uh-oh. All right, let me get another piece of this paper. Let me cut this down. So this was... I needed 5 3/8 there, right? By 3 7/8. There, okay. Jiminy Christmas. I'm gonna have one of them days. I feel it coming. It's coming on. It's coming on. Okay. So there's that. Now I gotta, here we go, let's see. All right, 1 5/8, which is the one past a 1/2 inch, not before a 1/2 inch, doofy doofus, by 5 3/8. Now, in case you were ever wondering about how to cut paper, here's how not to do it, okay? Let's see, okay, so there's 2 pieces that are correct, and that piece is correct. This piece is not correct. I should get rid of that. All right, let me see if I can get, hopefully I can get what I need out of here. Okay, 1 5. Okay, I think I can do that. So we'll do 5 3/8. Otherwise, I'll have to pull out another piece of the paper. So what do we learn from this, y'all? Even people who've been doing it a long time mess up. And it just one more time goes to show it's really just paper. Just because I'm cutting a bunch of it. All right, and there's another 1 5/8. Okay, pretty soon we're going to be back to making a card. Yay! Yay! All right, there we go. Now we'll put this aside, along with all these extra pieces that I'm sure I can find some other thing to do with at some point, sometime, somewhere. Shall we try that again? Let's try that again. Here, I'll put this aside or I'll end up gluing it to myself. Okay. Okay, as if it never happened. Let me just do a little quick check here before I put glue all over it. Yeah, thanks, Nina. I appreciate that. Apparently, I have had too many Diet Mountain Dews. Actually, the problem is I think I am now, well, part of the problem is I made this card long enough ago that it is not fresh in my brain. And I made the mistake of using a number in my head that made sense to me because I'm used to these cards being how tall? 4 1/4. Okay, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and there will be nothing you can do to persuade me otherwise. Okay, now I'm going to put these leafy ones on the first panel, and I'm going to make that mushroom right side up. It kind of goes all over the place like leaves, but my brain said make that mushroom right side up, so I did. Okay, and then it'll go on this panel, and let's see, we'll make that mushroom right side up. All right, here we go. Okay, and now, you know, usually I would mat these, but there's so much cardstock in here that I think it's fine to not, and that's why I went with the bigger dimensions so that I have a little less just cardstock showing through or showing on the edges. Okay, so then we'll just put a little bit of liquid glue here and put these in the center like so. Aren't you glad I did do a little die cutting ahead of time so that you don't have to watch that too? Oh, my goodness. Okay, there we go. All right, I really love this paper. The little bit, there's just enough gold in it to make it so pretty. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fall paper. Okay, there we go. Whew, I did. Yay. Okay. Stick to my decision. That's right. Keep my mushrooms right side up. Okay, now for my little card, we're going to go ahead and make the little card. And the thing to remember about this is the card wants to go in backwards, okay? It doesn't unfold like this. It unfolds like this, okay? Also, the inside is not visible. You're going to decorate these two panels. So this is going to be the front, and then the back will be the inside liner, okay? You can see there's nothing on the inside. So that's a little bit of a brain puzzle, which, as if we're looking at things as things are going right now, I guarantee I will have to make this over again. But maybe not. One never knows. All right, so I have just a piece of, it's another piece of the same Gathering Together DSP, but it's the wood one. And I'm going to put it on the front. These are just 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 square. And I should probably make that, that's fine. Okay. Now, for the back, let's go ahead and stamp it up the way it's going to look, and that's going to have one of our fun little sentiments. It says, grateful for your friendship. Let me put this up here out of my way. And I'm going to stamp that in pecan pie. That's how you say it up north, but down here we say it right, which is pecan pie. Pecans, those are what you get English peas in a can, see? Okay, let's see if I can get that on straight. Okay, grateful for your friendship. And then also in pecan pie, I know, Faith, it's beautiful. I'm going to stamp the sunflowers and leaves, and I'm just going to do it down in the corner like so. And then, because they're really, really cute, this is like the cutest little butterfly ever. I'm going to stamp him a few times too. Now, I colored him in balmy blue, and I found that on my color wheel. I actually used pumpkin pie because Timid Tiger wasn't on it. And so I just kind of put pumpkin pie sort of in the center, and I looked right across pretty much. It's not quite the triad, but I didn't want to use Lost Lagoon. So I just kind of pulled one of the others in here in in this section, and I used Balmy Blue, and it works great. It looks good. So I'm going to color this now with some blends. I have a few little blends here. We're going to use light Mossy Meadow for the leaves. I'm so sorry to have to tell you, but you're going to have to watch me color this image twice. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. So sorry, Charlie. All right, let's see some more. One more leaf right there. I love these little sunflowers. They're so pretty and cheery. So pretty, so cheery, so cheery, so pretty. Pecan? Oh, really? Okay. Well, they were all saying it wrong. I'm pretty sure. The Georgians that you heard saying pecan. All right, now this is my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm coloring these little petals. The petales, that's how you'd say it probably in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I bet I can make it that way. So see, these are petales. So it could also be Italian. All right. Now, if y'all place an order with me during my packaging special, I have everything boxed up, and it will go to the mailbox this afternoon on our way out. Okay, now I'm going to take my light pecan pie, not that end. Who did not have indoor plumbing. Oh, that's funny. That is certainly a type of pecan, that is for sure. That was funny. So I'm just going to use this light pecan pie blend. Now I'm never going to be able to say pecan again without thinking of that. To color the centers of my flowers. And I'm going to use the dark one to color the bodies of my little flutterbys here. Okay, like so. And then I'll use my light Balmy Blue to color their wings. You know, it's so tempting to try to find similar colors when you're doing things like this for nature, but the truth is, nature doesn't make things similar colors, do they? Does she? No, they're different. They don't match the flowers. Some of them do, but not all of them. We have a real pretty big blue swallowtail that flies around our place. Okay, so there is our back side end, however you want to say it. So we'll just go ahead and adhere this on with some of the liquid glue. Okay. And then I'm going to decorate the front before we go ahead and put the card base together, okay? Because once it gets on, it gets a little bit squirrelier. All right, so I made a few little things, I made some things. I've got my flowers, and I stamped this pot. It is this one. There are two vases in the set. I used this one, and I stamped it in Timid Tiger. Now, the first time I stamped it, it was quite dark. Can you see the difference? It's not so easy to tell maybe on the camera, but this one's a little lighter. This one seemed dark to me, so I just took my bone folder and I rubbed it over the top of my ink pad to kind of push the ink down away from the surface, and then I inked it and stamped it again, and I got just a little less color, and I liked it better. So that is that pot. It has a die to cut it out with. This will be our sentiment, and then I cut 3 little pecan pie butterflies. So let's go ahead and get them colored up. We'll get everything colored, and then we can assemble it and be ready to roll. It's about time for a new blend here, Mary. About time for a new blend. Oh, I heard a different song in my head right then. And it wasn't gonna fit, really, because it had nothing to do with blends. And what I was saying had to do with blends. I'm telling you what, guys, my brain might be on the fritz. I think my brain might be on the fritz. I'm not sure. I'm sure that eventually I will catch up. My brain will catch up with myself, but maybe not this week. Possibly. Maybe next week at the retreat. my brain will catch up. I cannot wait to spend some time with my friends. Okay, there's the butterflies. We'll use the dark one for his little body. Little body. I suppose I could have done these in tuxedo black, but I liked the pecan pie. And then we'll color some flowers. Some flowers. Here we go. Do you guys grow sunflowers in your garden? I tried one year and three got really tall, but their little heads would not stand up. And they weren't little heads, they weren't huge either. They weren't like, you know, a foot across or anything, but 6 or 8 inches, and they just drooped and wilted and looked at the ground the whole time. So I think maybe I didn't have them in quite the sun that they needed. So I said, you know what? I'll grow another kind of flower that the butterflies and the birds like. And the sunflowers can just be seeds in a pack in the store. Because it was very disappointing. I was so excited when the first ones went up. I was like, oh my gosh, those are beautiful. And then they just drooped and like hung there. So I don't know. I probably need my friend Judy to come and help me garden. That's what I think I need, because Judy is a gardener. A gardener. Here we have the light pecan pie coloring the seeds area. And then we'll color the leaves. And then I promise, that's almost all you have to watch me do this, because I am going to put it on the front of the envelope. But I'm not going to do it right now, because I don't want to color again for a minute. I want to put my card together. I want to put my card together, because it is so cute. It's so cute. I really like this little fold. It's very nice. Lets you show off some DSP. We have some real pretty DSP coming soon. November 4th is right around the corner, or you can get it right now. You know, we've only got like 2 weeks left of our awesome joining special, so you might want to think about joining up. Okay, now let's go ahead and lay out our card front. That's what this is the card front. And you don't want to get too carried away with overlapping and things like normally I'd say, come clear out here. No, don't do that with this one. Just keep it inside, color inside the lines, people. Okay? And then we're going to put this guy right here. And we're going to have a sentiment. We could go ahead and get our sentiment going, couldn't we? Let's get a sentiment. Oh, I'll bet the birds did love them. And again, I think maybe that was it too, is they probably need some kind of support, and I didn't give it to them very good. All right, I am going to stamp, and I made 2 of these in case I bork it. At the rate I'm going, I may need 7 of these to get it good. There's no telling what will happen. I said, you get me, and I appreciate that. Kind of a current, very current kind of a sentiment. Okay, let me see. I'm going to pull it to me, okay? Just a second. I hope you can see it still, and I hope you can't see my bangs or anything in your face. And we'll get it centered right there. How nice is it that starting now in November, every stamp set that you purchase that's new, every stamp set that you purchase that's new will be photopolymer. All right? So now we have a sentiment, and it's going to go right there. And then the last 2 butterflies will go on once we get those on. So let's go ahead and put it all together. It's all together now. It's all together now. Do, 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 do. It's all together now. Here, actually, let's go ahead and just adhere these together. That'll make it much more easy to take care of. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue right there. And then we'll put this guy on kind of centered, kind of right there. Okay. So now they will work together instead of against each other. And then we're going to put some dimensionals. I was glad that I was able to at least get some dimensionals on this card. Sometimes you do a fun fold and you can't even really get a dimensional because it doesn't make sense, and it just makes it so thick you can't even stand it. Yeah, there is some time, Is this the first time I'll be leaving my mini fur baby? Yeah. Actually, yeah, because I haven't gone anywhere since we brought her home, so she'll be good. She's got Wayne pretty well wrapped. What I hope is that he pays enough attention that we don't have accidents, because sometimes she's a little cryptic about her requirement to go outside. Because you have to understand that if you say, do you need to go outside, and she goes tap 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 with her feet, that's a yes, as is a hysterical round of barking. That's also a yes. And sometimes, you know, sometimes he doesn't always get that. He'll come in and get like, what does your dog want? I said, put her out. It's like, she doesn't want to go out. Yeah, she does. Okay, so we're gonna just put this on with dimensionals. I get it, Faith. I know that you are one of the most happy people I know as far as not having any more red rubber stamps. All right, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the right side of my sentiment, and then just put a little liquid glue on the other side to adhere it. I did it right. Yay, yay me. And then we'll put this on, kind of try to get it straight, sort of straight. Is that straight? Does it look straight? Let me see if that's straight. Yeah, that's straight. Okay. And then I'm going to put, all of these guys are going to be dimensional to some extent. So let me put a dimensional on the back of 2 of them. Where did Mr. Third Butterfly go? There he is. Now he is going to have to go on the sentiment. And he's going to go like right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a dimensional on the card front itself. Right there. Kind of under the sentiment, kind of not. And then we'll just pick him up and hook him on just like that. And you see I almost got him on my fold, but I didn't. So we're good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put this guy on. And then I'm going to tie the tiniest little bow that you have ever seen. Well, you may have seen a smaller bow, but you will never have seen a smaller bow that my fat fingers have tied. I've got a little piece of the white and gold baker's twine. Aw, thanks, Linda. I love this. I just bought another 2 packs because it's so cool. Okay, now we're going to make this little tiny bow. Little tiny bow like this right here, and I'm talking like that to tell myself to get little tiny bow. You know what? It's okay, it's all right to be little bitty, little hometown in a big old city. All right, that is a good little bow. I will take it. Little bows for 1,000, Alex. And then I'm going to, did I use a glue dot or did I use liquid glue? Let me see if I can tell. I think I used liquid glue because it's so little. So little. And I'm going to put him right there, like that. Okay. And now he can sit there while that glue takes. Do 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 do. And then we'll put our last flutterby. God, I love these little butterflies so much. They are just too stinking cute. Put him right. Oh, I got carried away. Got a little ahead of myself there. Go back on there. There we go. Okay, so we'll leave that be for just a second. Now, let's talk about symbolizing the card. You're going to want to adhere to this panel and this panel, and you're going to adhere on the inside. And we're going to use tear and tape. Okay, let me show you a little trick. If I haven't shown you this, if I have showed you this, then I'm sorry, you'll see it again. But if I haven't, now you're going to learn a thing that's going to blow your mind. When you want to use tear and tape, stick your hand through it and put it up against your thumb. Okay, then you can pull the end and control it like that. I always see so many people struggling with this, and there's an easy way to fix it. So we're just going to put that on the edges of both the front and the back on the inside. I've got It's All Right to Be a Little Bitty in my head now. Great. Great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do about this and that. Let me fix that. That's bugging me. No, I'll fix it later. What we're going to do is I'm going to take the cover off of this, and I'm going to kind of center it up right on that back panel, and then I will close this on it. Okay, so I'm going to put it right about there and then close that on it, and when I push that down it will be adhered. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm going to have that in my head all day now. This part, you just want to take it a little slow so that you don't end up, you know, upside down and backwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and center that up and then see if that's still as centered as I want. And I'm not pushing down, okay? So I'm not pushing down at all. It's not adhered yet. But you do kind of want it to be straight. And I'm looking at this line against this line. And we can open that up and then give that a push like that. Okay, and so that has us adhered back there. Now we'll go ahead and take this one off. And y'all, I'm going to attempt to write this in the post, but I'm probably going to end up saying, see the video. Just thinking, because it's so much easier. So then just fold everything up, lay this down so that it's flat. Don't pull it, don't push it, just flat. And then give it a good little push, and boom, chakalaka. Now this is not a card you're going to write a whole bunch of stuff on. This is one of those love, Mary, love you, XOXOXO. But if you wanted to write some more, put a 3 7/8 by 5 3/8 piece of white on the back here, maybe a couple of little butterflies, and write away. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick envelope. And I'm going to do those flowers again. Yep, so, no, you know what? Let's do the butterfly. I think I did the butterflies. Let me look. Oh yeah, I did the butterflies. That'll be much quicker. All right, thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. I love this paper so much. And this is a nice fold for kind of highlighting it. Okay. See my little triangle of randomness there? Yeah. Randomly not random. All right, again with the dark pecan pie. Remember when you were using blends on an envelope front, you want to be very light-handed, or put a little piece of acetate between there, inside the envelope, you know, so that you aren't pushing down. Because if you push down too heavy and get too carried away, you're quite likely to have a bleed through. You'll have a bleed through. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We have bleed through. Cleanup, aisle 7. That was very random, just so you know. I almost said attention Kmart shoppers. How many of you are old enough to remember Kmart shoppers? Attention Kmart shoppers. We have a blue light special in the home goods department. And you get over there and it's nothing. Nobody wanted what was over there. That's why they had a blue light special on it. Make people want something that they hadn't wanted 5 minutes before. Then it was on sale. Ooh, I need it. I must have it. All right, so there's our little flutterbys. And then I'm going to put another blue light special. That's right. That is right. All right, there you go. We do have some folks of a certain age who do remember Kmart. I don't even think Kmart, didn't Kmart just kind of go kaput, completely kaput, along with Montgomery Ward. I think, is there still Sears? Sears is still around, right? All right, and we're gonna put some more of this pretty paper on here, like so. And I am gonna pull this down just a little bit because it's a real thick card. So I'm not putting the edge of the DSP right on the fold so that it won't be quite so separate-y when it gets a big thick card in it. Kmart wasn't terrible. I can remember shopping Kmart in a lot of towns. In a lot of towns. I think we had one in Delaware and Dover when I was there. I think that's how long ago I was there. Maybe. Okay. So there you go. Here we have an accordion card with the new pop-up Petals bundle. And it is very, very cute. This one is I think this is a must-have. It's kind of a flyover. This is not, if you can see the PDF, if you are interested in joining the team, let me know and I'll send you the PDF for the November online exclusives. Otherwise, November 4th, this will be available to you, and I know you're going to want this one. All right? So I will see you on Saturday. I actually do know what we're going to make. It's a Christmas card, since it's a Saturday before Christmas, and I think you're going to like it. It's quite cute. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will see you on Saturday. Thanks, guys. Bye.